Today we're going to be taking a look at Ho Deucalion kai he Pyrrha, Deucalion and Pyrrha, the myth, adapted from Apollonius Rhodus and also more or less Hesiod. We start off here with a genitive, Prometheus. We're not really used to that particular genitive. We'll see it in a little bit. It's the genitive of the Eus nouns. So Prometheus's son, Egenata. This is the aorist of gignomai. Since the verb eimi, to be, doesn't actually have a separate aorist form, you default to gignomai for that aorist equivalent. Prometheus' son was Deucalion. Hutos. Hutos means this, specifically this guy I was just talking about. So this guy, masculine nominative singular. Basileion, present active participle of basileio. So ruling, when ruling, as he ruled, any of those are fine. It also takes a genitive object. So therefore, that's what the tone topone is. But within the sandwich between the article and the noun, we have the prepositional phrase peri tes phthias. So altogether, while ruling, when ruling, ruling, who ruled, any of those are fine. The areas around phthia, he married Pyrrha. Now, we've already talked about the fact that Pyrrha is, in fact, his cousin because she is the daughter of Epimetheus and Pandora. He is the son of Prometheus, and I'll be honest with you, I don't even know who the mother's name is. I need to look that up. Epe, dead Zeus. And when Zeus wanted, as with Othello, we usually get infinitive. Here, this is the infinitive of a slightly irregular verb, apolumi, but it's still the present active infinitive. When Zeus wanted to kill off, to destroy, togenos. This here is a neuter noun, and so therefore we're expecting, this is the, both nominative and the accusatives are identical in form, but here it is the object of apolumi. So again, neuter, accusative, singular, object of apolumi. When he wanted to destroy the race of humans, Keliontos Prometheus here, we've got a genitive noun, genitive participle in a sentence for no good reason, so we have a genitive absolute. Present active participle, I'm going to go with maybe since Prometheus commanded. Deucalion apoiesata larnaca. He made a larnaca. Larnaca here is a box of some kind. It can also mean a coffin, but really it's just kind of a chest of some kind. It is masculine, accusative, and singular object of apoiesata. And we have another participle here. This time it is a aorist participle of a funky verb you don't need to worry about right now, antithemi. And after putting in ta epideia, the necessities, neuter plural, into it, tautane here refers back to the thing we were just talking about. Oh, I'm sorry, it actually is feminine. Never mind. Tautane here refers back to the larnaca, which turns out is feminine, and that's why we're using the feminine form tautane to describe it. And after putting the necessities into it, meta plus the genitive here means with, not after. That would be with the accusative. So with Pyrrha, he esebe went in. And Zeus, a great storm, apuranu, from the heavens, chaos here is a aorist participle this time. And you know how I love translating aorist participles with an after. Kao means to pour out. So after pouring out much rain, much storm from this heavens, from the sky, my verb here, kateklusen, continues with Zeus as its object. He inundated, he flooded. Ta plesta mere, the greatest part, genitive singular, of Helados, of Greece. Not the Greeks, but this is the actual land itself. The greatest part of Greece. Hosta here, so that as a result, he destroyed Apollunai. It is an infinitive. We actually saw the exact same form up in line 2, but you don't need to know why this is an infinitive here. Such that he destroyed Pantas Anthropus, all the humans. Deucalion here, continuing, new nominative. And Deucalion, in his Larnaki, in his box, in his ark, dia plus the genitive here means through. Again, dia plus the genitive equals through, which also has a G in it. Theromenos here, present passive participle. Which is going to be translated as being carried because it's passive voice. So again, Deucalion, being carried in his box through the sea. Hemeras and nuktas are both accusative, being modified and by enea here. Enea is in the number 9, and unlike other words and adjectives in Greek, it does not decline. So since these are time kind of words in the accusative case, we're going to go ahead and call these accusatives of time. And we're going to translate them with a 4. 4, 9. Days and nights. Again, and Deucalion, being carried in his box, or just carried is fine, through the sea for 9 days and nights. Ace plus affect naomai, we see the idiom all the time. This happens to be the aorist of affect naomai. That's why it looks funky. And in case you're wondering, hey, Miss Soder, where's the augment? Turns out long iota is the augment. Tricky that. He arrived at Mount Parnassus. Oros here is neuter. And so therefore this accusative is also identical to the nominative form. So again, neuter, accusative, singular of to oros. Kake. Now, normally we don't get breathing marks in the middle of words, but we do when we've got two separate words squished together. This is short for ka, kai, eke, and there. So again, an example of crassus, C-R-A-S-I-S. And there, we've got a genitive noun and a genitive participle in a sentence for no good reason. We have a genitive absolute. So, and there, since it's an aorist participle, it is a second aorist, lambano lepsomai elabon. That's why it looks like it should be a present, but in fact, this is an aorist active participle. We're going to translate that genitive absolute as after the storm took a break, literally, lambano de paulon, or after the storms, you're going to be super duper literal. Ekbas here is a aorist active participle as well, but this time it looks more alpha-y. So again, aorist active participle after getting out, and it's modifying the implied Deucalion. After getting out, he sacrifices to. Now, this de fuxio is in fact the dative of Zeus because Zeus declines very strangely. After getting out, he sacrificed to Zeus, and this is his epithet, fuxios, which means the one who lets me get out of things, get out of bad situations, who lets me escape. Zeus the escaper. Escape artist, if you want. Dative, of course, with duo. Sacrifice to somebody. And Zeus. We've got yet another masculine aorist active participle. This time he's modifying Zeus. So, you know how I love to translate aorist participles with an after. After sending, this time he's sending not a storm, but Hermes, the god Hermes, and that makes sense because that is his job. He's the messenger god. So Pempsos here is modifying Zeus. And after sending Zeus, after sending Hermes, pros auton to him, that him, of course, equals Deucalion. He epitrepe, he promised, he offered, sorry, I apologize, he asked him hairesthai to choose, infinitive here, haughty, whatever he wants. So it's more about, sorry I tried to kill you, but since you survived, you get a prize, you get a prize, you get a prize. And he chose, meaning Deucalion, chose humans. Genesthai here is that aorist, active infinitive, second aorist, of course, from gignomai, genesomai, agenon main. Remember, this is functioning as the equivalent of Amy in the aorist. So he chose humans, genesthai, to be heauto for himself. Now, don't forget with that dative heauto here, and by the way, that is the reflexive, same belongs to the subject of the sentence. The verb dative plus the verb to be, even when it's the replacement gignomai, functioning as the same meaning as a me, that's a dative of possession we've seen a few times. C is for cookie, and cookie is for me. He chose humans to be for himself, period. So Deucalion is taken up in his dad's footsteps here. His father, Prometheus, had created all humans, and now Deucalion is going to bring him back. Dios epeontos, here we've got yet again a genitive noun and a genitive participle in a sentence for no good reason. We've got a genitive absolute. And since we've got yet another aorist participle, I would say after Zeus said, since Zeus said, although Zeus said, doesn't really work so well. This will do. Huper, meaning this is where we get the word hyper from, above his head takes a genitive object. He threw lithus, stones. Now, lithus here is a masculine and nominative masculine accusative plural word. And therefore, we are going to use the masculine plural form of hate, ha, the relative pronouns. Since stones are things, we're just going to go ahead and call them which or that. Either is fine. He threw stones, and the ones which he threw, ebale, with one lambda, by the way, is the aorist. Balo, baleo, ebalon. We're still just going to translate with an ed. The ones which he threw, the ones with which Deucalion threw, became men. And the ones which implied Pyrrha threw became women. And that is the extent of the text of Deucalion for the mid-year exam.